my first question is very generic. What was your overall feeling about Victor Wembanyama? Did he live up to your expectations?
He lived up to the what I expected. I did have high expectations for him, and to be honest, he probably exceeded the expectations that I had maybe about a month ago. I didn't think that he'd play. I thought he'd play like a lot, but I figured he'd probably play maybe 20 minutes a game. I did not think that he would have like really, really good statistics, just because you don't really see in Europe guys put up like crazy statistical numbers. And then after the two 34-point games, and then I think he had 23 in the first game of the season, I was like, okay, this guy's going to put up huge numbers. And he had foul trouble in the first game I was there, and then the second game he had 19. But I will say, a month ago, if you would have asked me the question, he's exceeded those expectations. But I did have high expectations for him coming into these two games that I saw last week.
All right, we all know Victor's long, tall, exceptional skill set for his size, rim protection, mobility. My second question to you is, what part of his game is not enough underlined, maybe undervalued?
Oh, the passing. And I think he showed that in the game. The game on Tuesday night.
The Portel game.
The Portel, yeah. I struggle with the names of the French teams because it's like they have 4 or 5 names sometimes. But that game, in the second half, he made some really impressive reads from the high post, touch passes. It's almost like he had so many parts of his game that he did not really get a full opportunity to show last year at Asvel. And now he's showing people what he can do. And it's like, the expectations were high. He's been projected to be the number 1 pick for the last few years, but now he's showing a different level of passing and skill set that, even like the biggest Wembanyama fans have to be pleased with what they're seeing. So I'd say his passing definitely has caught me by surprise.
And what did you think about his role in the Metropolitans? Do you feel like his decision to leave Asvel to go to play there was a good one?
Yeah, I definitely think it was the right choice. He's in, really a perfect situation. It's closer to home. He has, like you said, freedom to, just do different things. Asvel is a team that, they're very competitive, and obviously playing in the EuroLeague, there's really not a lot of time to develop when you're playing in the EuroLeague because, it's all about win, win, win. And I think in this situation with the Metropolitans, of course, he wants to win and the team wants to win, but they're giving him, the freedom to make mistakes. And you can, at least in my opinion, I can see that he is a totally different player as far as confidence. Like, he's always been confident, but this guy that we're seeing right now is extremely confident. And so that alone makes it worth the transfer from Asvel to the Metropolitans.
We obviously talk a lot with NBA scouts, American NBA scouts. What is the overall feeling there? Is Victor a clear number 1? Is it a race with Scoot? Are there any other prospect in the mix?
Yeah, I think it's Victor first, and then I still think it's a pretty wide margin between Victor and Scoot, but I think those two are the top 2 in a kind of like a class on their own. And then after that, it's kind of wide open for number 3. But everybody that I have spoken with has him number 1, just because we've never seen anything like him before. We've never seen someone at that size move the way he does. And like, his defensive impact alone would make him, a person that would be considered for the first pick. But now once you add on what he has on the offensive end and the development that he's done, I think it's going to be really, really difficult for Scoot to pass him. And I even say that I think the only way Scoot could pass him is if, there's some like injury concerns or some team worried about injuries, which, is something that's often going to be discussed when you have somebody that size.
Yeah, and we have the example of Chet Holmgren recent injury. I mean, obviously, they have the same morphotype, him and Victor. Do people are a little bit worried about that? The supposedly injury-prone morphotype.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think maybe fans are probably more vocal about that. But I mean, Chet's injury was, Chet's never really had any injury history prior to that. And it was just the injury of him hurting his foot playing in the game. It wasn't a knee injury or anything like that. And I think that, unfortunately, because Chet has a similar body style and frame and length as Victor, that once Chet got injured, people are going to start just making assumptions that it's related to their height and their size, which that injury Chet had could have happened to me or you.
To end this interview, Rafael, I've seen your tweets about the poor quality of BetClick Elite video footage. I have to say, I agree. I think many people in France agree with you. But is it a shared feeling among the American scouts community following Victor? Are we French people embarrassing ourselves, being very far behind when it comes to communication, marketing, especially online?
I just think like the way the arena is set up, that the view is kind of like you're looking over the top of him, as opposed to like a different view. And then the footage always comes out a little dark when you're clipping it together. But it's just basketball in America is a lot different than France. I'd say if we had a Victor Wembanyama here in the States, it would be impossible to get a ticket. Paris is like a city where there's so much to do. So maybe that's a part of it. Maybe basketball isn't just number one, the number one sport in France. So yeah, it is a little different than the States. Even here in the States, if there's like a really good high school player, there's just going to be multiple camera people following him all over. But I don't think it matters what country it is. I think the United States, and I'm not saying this because I'm an American, but I think the United States has just mastered marketing and branding and creating exposure for players. And it actually can be too in a negative side, because we have kids here that are like 14 or 15 years old, and they have so much exposure that they think that they've made it. They think that they're already successful. So there is a negative side of having so much exposure. But yeah, I'm just kind of shocked that some of the quality of some of the games is not and like the greatest quality, especially considering you have like a generational talent in Victor.
Well, we'll try to improve things, I think, by sending a message to our prime minister. I think that could be.
I didn't expect my comment to reach the prime minister, but
no,
it seems like there are a lot of people that seem to agree that the quality isn't, or it could be better, I should say.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right. A lot of people in France have been complaining about this video footage and the way games are filmed. So for many years. So obviously you're not alone in this fight. Thank you anyway, Rafael, for having been our first guest. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Anytime you want me on, let me know, and we can definitely make it happen. I appreciate the invite.
And everybody who's listening, go read Rafael's work on NBA Big Boards. He has given you like a taste here, but there's a lot more on the website. Obviously, intel's pro insights and extensive coverage of the NBA draft. It's not all about Victor. Keep up the good work, Rafael. And you're always welcome, obviously, on our show.